This is a very roundabout love story in honor of Valentine's Day. So I'm 19 and I just got off the Metro North that was coming back from Manhattan to Connecticut. My cousin had gotten us passes to TRL. And if you just said to yourself, "Hey Rocky, what's TRL?" Well, gather round, children, and I'll tell you the tale of how today's host of NBC's The Voice used to put the adolescents of America in a trance with his monotone voice and his two nails painted midnight black. And as you say today, his swagger on deck as he counted down the top music videos we requested to see from our landline phones at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday from the heart of Times Square live. The guests on the show that day that I got to see were T.I., Sum 41, and musical guest T-Pain. He sang, "Buy you a drink." The plan that evening was I was going to the club with 3 of my girlfriends. The name of the club was Alchemy, and I was new hot because I had gotten my braces off. Yeah, baby, your girl had braces for the better part of 5, almost 6 years, and her entire freshman year of college. Me and the girls hit the club, and we were doing that thing where if a guy grinds on you, you tell your friend if he's hot, and if he's hot, you allow him to keep dancing with your friend, and if he's not hot, you pull your friend away. It was a different time, gang. So when we left the club, after having a really fun night, there were 2 men leaned on motorcycles parked outside. Me and my 3 friends start talking to them, and then within seconds, I am on the back of one of the motorcycles, by choice, and my other friend was on the other, and we left our 2 friends behind while we rode around the streets of New Haven with these, ultimately, 2 strangers. I'll never forget my friend Megan's face. Ooh, she was mad than a motherfucker. Rightfully so, though, rightfully so. We just ditched her on the corner. Sorry, Megan, I love you so much. But I felt free. I felt invigorated. I felt like Reese Witherspoon going down the roller coaster in Fear. You know what I'm talking about. Then we went back for the girls, safely, I will add, and we all walked over to York Street, which is in the heart of Yale's campus, if you're familiar with New Haven. And I made out with this cough 30-year-old man named Brandon, pressed against the Yale bookstore. I may have still had my top braces on because naturally I got my braces off bottoms first, months before the tops, so that just popped in my head. Now at 19 years old, I worked at Kmart. That's right. As my high school job, I worked at Kmart, and during the summers when I would come back home, I worked at Kmart. And yes, I was a key-holding, drawer-counting, void-doing, return-giving, front-end supervisor. Bitch, what? And one day I'm front-end supervising, and I see Brandon walk in. He's buying stuff. And we had texted a couple times, and he said he was going to take me out on his jet ski. Never happened. And when I saw him, I hid. I literally hit the ground and popped my head up like a little gopher to watch him check out and leave. And that was the end of Brandon. Where does the love story come in? Well, none of that would have happened. No TRL, no dancing with the girls at the club, no popping on the back of a motorcycle with an undeserving white boy. If 31 years before that night, in 1976, my parents hadn't met at that very same club. It was under a different name, called the Blue Angel. Shout out to you, Mom and Dad. Thanks for banging. This Valentine's Day, I say to the lovers, keep loving. I say to the lusters, try trusting. And I say to all the singles out there, who loves you, baby?
For
Duh.
Rocket!
This is a segment called the Rocky Rundown, where you get to learn a little bit about my week. Let's just answer the question you've all been wondering about. Did I get my stepper? Yes. It came, and I am about to be in so much shape, they're going to have to add me to a textbook. The Rocktagon. That's right, it is about to be over for everybody's summer body. If I can use this thing more than one day in a row. And And moving on. Last night I watched They Ready on Netflix. It's Tiffany Haddish, her show, on its second season. And what she's doing is she's introducing the Netflix audience to comedians she's known and loved and learned from and worked alongside since the start of her career, but they may not be a household name, or maybe they haven't had their big break. What she's doing is she's lifting her comedian community up and showing the world not only their gifts, but that there's plenty of room for everyone to eat at the table. What she's doing is extremely powerful, and now every one of those comedians is a star in my eyes. I plan on watching it again, but I want to talk about Tony Woods. Though it was very hard to choose, Tony Woods was my favorite of the 6 comedians. I could feel his jokes, the math behind it, the thought behind it, the musicality of them. I could literally feel it in my bones. I fell in love with this man, and I cannot wait for anyone who doesn't know about him to discover him. Personally, can't wait to hear more of what he has to say. He's 3 steps ahead of everyone in his joke writing. It's just genius. And Tony Woods, I'm so happy to know you exist as a comedian now. He's the definition of a treasure. My guest this week is Lauren Shmitty Smith. Her wild word was fab, which is one of my favorite words ever. We giggled a lot throughout this whole interview. It was really fun. Her story was a doozy, so strap in. Hold on tight is what I should say. Hold on tight. Maybe if you're with a neighbor, hold on tight to your neighbor. Please like, subscribe, share the podcast, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Wild Nights with Rocky, and write a review of the show if you enjoy it on Apple Podcasts, because that's important. And thank you for listening. If you can be a little more patient with someone this week, do it. If you can be a little more helpful to someone in need, do it, and keep staying safe so we can go back to being wild. Enjoy my conversation with Shmitty. Hey there, Wild Night Squad. The year is 2021. It's time to clean up your act. Well, mostly. Get your hands on a bar of Sleepy Dragon soap. Sleepy Dragon soaps are handmade, vegan, and full of skin-loving ingredients like avocado oil and shea butter, giving you a super creamy lather. From now until February 28th, my listeners will get 10% off when you use promo code Rocky at checkout. Just visit etsy.com/shop/Sleepy Dragon Soaps. Follow them on Instagram at Sleepy Dragon Soaps. Sleepy Dragon Soaps. Ethical luxury. Shmitty, thank you so much for doing the podcast. Welcome.
Oh my gosh, Rocky, I'm so excited. Thank you for having me on this.
Of course. You have the best setup right now. I'm loving it. Everyone on YouTube will get to see it afterwards, but it is just like you have your whole radio setup because you work in radio.
I do, yeah. So you're probably noticing all of and I wish I could show you the whole studio. We're the official Christmas station for where I work right now.
Wow.
And so every single piece of Christmas gear is still up. I'm going to be very straight with you. It will probably remain up for the entire year.
That's okay. I feel like this is the year that people probably need a little bit more Christmas joy going throughout the year.
Yes. Yes.
I told you, I still have my tree up, which is, I always take my tree up, or I always take my tree down by Little Christmas, by January 6th. But
I love that.
Yeah, this year we're just letting it rock. We might turn it into a Valentine's Day tree, St. Patrick's Day tree, who knows?
And that's what exactly. I'm going to just continue to decorate it throughout every holiday because the lazy part of me is like, that's the perfect plan.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have nothing to do, no work.
Absolutely. And you have to rewrap ornaments, which to me is the worst part about bringing down the tree is the rewrapping of the ornaments. Yes. It's awful.
Yes.
Some people would even say,
I'm so glad we're on the same page with this.
We are absolutely on the same page about this. Yeah. And some people would say the rewrapping of the ornaments is not fab, which is the word you gave me as your wild word. And it's such a perfect word because it's a word I use all the time, but it's also perfect because it can go in so many different directions. So I'm excited to hear a wild story with the word fab. Will you go into that for us?
So fab to me is they're the fabulous nights, which almost always have a story connected to them.
Yeah.
And it's wild. So mine has to do with Halloween, which I think so many people are going, oh, I've had some memorable Halloweens.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we've got a whole group of friends. There were like 8 of us, and we went to Milwaukee for a Halloween a few years ago. If you've never been to the city, it's so much fun. There's a ton going on. Of course, this is years before the pandemic when you could
Yeah.
actually do stuff.
Absolutely. And just so
And
everyone knows, Schmitty's in Michigan. So is Milwaukee a good
yes,
place? Is that a good place for people from Michigan? Is that kind of like where you guys go to hang or go get out of town?
yeah, I mean, Chicago's super great,
Uh-huh.
and I'm a couple hours from Detroit, but if you just want something new and different, plus I had a couple of friends, it's a really fun road trip, super
Yeah.
easy. So, and the bar scene is really great.
Okay, good to know.
So, yes, we decided for, you're going to figure out how I know the bar scene is so great. So we decided as a Halloween costume to go as a group of sheep.
Okay.
And then one of our friends was just a guy dressed in PJs, and we were like his counting sheep, right?
Mhm.
So we are decked in cotton balls. It's super glued. We're super flammable. Like you're going to want to stay away from any of the smoking sections outside
Right.
of the bars because that's our costume.
Yeah.
So we're going out, we're hitting a few bars, and it is fantastic. So it's probably about 1:30 in the morning.
Mhm.
And I decide I'm hungry and my feet are killing me because I'm a woman. And what did I do? I wore stilettos out for Halloween.
Oh, a sheep in
Sure.
stilettos.
I know, right? What a unique and fab outfit. So a friend of mine, we're like, we're gonna go walk back to the hotel. It's a few blocks, no big deal. Grab some food on the way. We had a bunch of drinks back in our room, and I'm like, we'll just continue it there where I can take these friggin' shoes off. So we're walking like a couple blocks, girl, and my feet are on fire.
Yeah.
I cannot handle it. And so my buddy's like, why don't I just give you a freaking piggyback ride? You won't have to walk. We can get there a lot sooner than you bitching the whole entire next 3 blocks.
Yeah.
Brilliant idea, right? Not for someone that has just visited 5 different bars and taken advantage of every drink special possible.
Oh no.
So, oh my God, we attempt piggyback ride number 1, and I, fall backwards. And so
Right.
in his mind, he goes, I'm gonna duck lower. In my mind, I'm gonna jump higher. Do we communicate that to each other? Absolutely not. So in the middle of a downtown sidewalk in Milwaukee, I jump over him, keeping my hands interlocked because I'm hammed,
Right.
and girl, smashed my face on the pavement. The last thing I can remember before things went dark, and you hear that internal like boom ringing through your head,
Yeah, you feel it in your toes.
Is the line across the street going, oh, did you just see that chick?
Oh my
And I
God.
opened my eyes. There is blood everywhere, like all over the sidewalk. The cotton balls I'm wearing as a sheep costume
Right.
is soaking it all in. So I look like a murdered lamb. And we're still 3 blocks from the hotel. So I am gripping my chin as we are walking back to this hotel. We get there, it's probably like 2:15 now. So the overnight staff sees me walking in with this guy
Yeah.
like I'm battered.
Was he a sheep too? I know you said the group went as a sheep. He was also a
He
sheep.
was a sheep as well. Yes.
Okay, got
He
it.
was a sheep too. So 1 perfectly fine sheep and 1 bloody sheep.
Wow.
And this overnight manager, I can like see her eyes getting huge, and she's like, are you okay? And I'm still just like so upset and stunned. I can't say anything. And my buddy's like, she tripped and fell. She's fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And we get up to the room, and it's just a mess. And then fast forward to the next morning,
Right.
where you can see through this super nice hotel, by the way, because there were like 10 of us going. We split 2 rooms. We could actually afford to stay somewhere classy.
Yeah.
There is a trail of bloody cotton balls all the way to my room. And the room looks like something out of a crime doc because I did everything I could. I definitely needed stitches, but the adult decision to not go to the ER
Who
is the
feels
thing.
like going to the hospital on Halloween? I mean, you know what I mean? Nobody feels like going to the
You
hospital.
want to be that person?
No, of course not. Of course not.
I know. So I ended up leaving like a paycheck's worth of tip for the housekeeping staff.
yeah.
I felt so bad. I had there was blood on the sheets,
Everywhere.
bathroom. We tried to clean it up. We're not those people.
Yeah.
But it was so awful. And like, even though I'm in radio, it's still a very visual medium.
Of course.
So for the next 2 weeks at work, every picture I did, every video, every social post, I have this massive homemade bandage
Oh my God.
underneath my face. And so now when I think back to Halloween 4 years ago, I have this lovely scar to remind me of how fab of a time it was.
Oh my God. So I have to agree with you about the not going to the hospital thing, because that's probably one of those nights, Halloween, where they get so many bloody sheep.
Ugh. Right. I
You know
wouldn't have
what I
been
mean?
the only one in there. And then do
Everybody's
you really
gone.
want to be that story?
No, of course not. You want to rock it out with your group. You want to kind of have, save a little face, have a memory, and not have a $900 hospital bill.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
You know that you're paying
And you
for
know
the next
what?
10 years
Minimum.
minimum.
And it's still, like, to this day, one of my most favorite. The entire weekend was epic. We went to a brewery and I got hammed there and actually had the brewmaster sign me,
Okay.
only to find out it was permanent marker. So I had that on my body for about a month.
You are fun.
So I showed up to work on that Monday looking rough. Definition of fab rough, we will call it, Rocky, because it was insane.
Was the brewmaster at least hot? Is that why you were having him sign your it was your chest, I assume, right?
Oh, and my ass.
Okay,
I did
great.
both sides. And I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna go both ends big, apparently.
Oh no, you're my kind of people.
No, not hot. Not hot at all.
I used to work at a brewery in the city, and the brewmaster, they changed brewmasters a couple times throughout the time that I worked there, but the brewmaster that was there right before I left, just a really hot guy. I mean, just like
Mm,
picturesque hot, and
mm.
apparently he spoke German too, because I think he had family in Germany, so sometimes he was like really into the like Das Boot beer thing. And so
Yes.
so apparently he would like go back to Germany, he was from America, but he would go back to Germany like 2 or 3 times a year, and he would just like post these pictures that look like a cologne ad of himself in like these fur jackets. And I don't know what I would give for him to sign my chest or my ass, but it'd be pretty much anything. I mean, this guy he was a hot brewmaster though, or is a hot brewmaster.
Oh, so there's still a chance then. Reconnect with him.
I
Get
mean,
that Sharpie out.
yeah.
I tell you, girl, you can scrub, and that memory is gonna stick with you for a while.
Yeah, we can put everything on the internet now too. You can just take a picture of it. I also, this story made me think of I was in high school, but I had it's not quite as bloody. It's not bloody at all. It's just kind of embarrassing, but I had a pimple right near my lips and chin area, and it was
Yes.
really, really big right before a 4th of July camping trip. So I'm in high school. I have this pimple. I'm very embarrassed by it because I didn't really have like a ton of pimples or anything. I was really embarrassed by it. So the night before, I put toothpaste on it. Well,
Sure.
the toothpaste smudged in my sleep and burned my skin. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I
Oh,
just
wow.
had like, this kind of like, it looked like the shape of Florida burn mark from toothpaste with a pimple in the center of it. It was awful. That I
did
might have
not
gone to the
think
hospital
that what
for.
toothpaste could do.
Yeah, a little dab of toothpaste is supposed to dry out a pimple, but like
Right.
I was like 17, I put way too much on. It was awful. It was awful. Do
Oh, I'm
do
so
you do
sorry.
that now? You're a mother now, right?
Yep, I'm a
Mhm.
mom.
Mhm. You're a mom. So those wild party nights, like those weekends in Milwaukee, few and far between, COVID aside.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
More few and far between. We still figure out how to make it work. Actually, I think
Right.
that's really important to take that little break.
Yes.
It's just the recovery is very different. It
Mhm.
is a definite journey to parent following a fab night out like that.
Yeah, yeah. You have to be a grown-up when you don't feel like being a grown-up, when you just feel like being
Right.
horizontal. Now,
And
is
you've
this
got, and I think like years from now, oh, is he gonna find those pictures? Because they're out there. There are a lot of places.
well, you're definitely gonna have to if you find some, you're definitely gonna have to send them to me because I absolutely want to post them. Was the group that you went out with for Halloween, were they friends that you've had for a really long time?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. So we're all super close. The
Mhm,
story still comes up all the time.
mhm. And you
It's
guys
just, it's what defines me now.
yeah.
Yay.
Did they give you a nickname?
I didn't get a nickname out of it actually. I just haven't, like I said, that was 4 years ago, and I have not had a piggyback ride since
Oh,
from
no.
anyone. Off limits, done. I
I
mean, I gotta save the rest of this nice
yeah. Oh, no.
canvas.
Yeah, your face is delightful. We can't have it all bloody and chopped up. Get
But
very
yeah,
uncomfortable by piggyback rides, if I'm being honest.
it's a weird thing. And honestly, I wouldn't, you have to be in a real emergency situation.
Mhm.
Stilettos where you're not gonna make it to your hotel, emergency situation.
Right, 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 right. See, I'm gross too. I would have just taken my shoes off and walked on the street. I've been known to do
Oh,
that.
see, I love that. Like, yes, we could absolutely be best friends.
Absolutely. I've been known to do that. Like or
Ask me,
take go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, ask me on another, I mean, because I would love to do this again, about the puppeteer I made friends with on Bourbon Street in New Orleans while I walked around barefoot.
Okay, I'm gonna need to hear that story right now. Um, because New
Like, of
Orleans is
all the
one of
places.
my favorite places in the world. Is what happened with the puppeteer on Bourbon Street, and Bourbon Street's one of my favorite streets. What a party.
Oh, isn't it
It
amazing?
really
I
is.
went down and visited a friend of mine I'd never been before, and it wasn't even Mardi Gras or anything. It was just like a regular Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just so blown away. It was a few hurricanes deep, and all of a sudden it's 4 in the morning. I have taken my shoes off. I'm walking around Bourbon Street with no shoes on, and I met this guy with marionettes, like the things
Yeah.
on strings.
The NSYNC
And I
dolls.
was, yes. And I was taken. I'm like, this is the most talented individual I've ever met in my life. And my friend found me an hour and a half later sitting on the curb, and I had named like three of them, and I was about to like sign my name to join his traveling act.
Yeah, your whole chest was
Never
covered in
saw my
Sharpie.
shoes. Yeah. Make this real easy for you, man. Right here, right here.
He's got a whole line of marionettes just drawn on your back.
Yeah. I'm also a shoe taker offer. I should have done it that night, and maybe I wouldn't have smashed my face.
Yeah. Oh my god, no, New Orleans is great though.
Oh,
I've not seen any marionette holder what would they be called? Puppeteers. You said the word puppeteers.
I guess, right. I called him a puppeteer. I don't know if that
That's
was
what
like
I think that's it.
offensive to him.
Sorry to all if there are any puppeteers, let us know the correct lingo. We're not trying to
Yeah.
offend puppeteers, any marionette artists. We want to know the right lingo. That would be that's the place I would like to go. One of the places I would like to go the most when this is over, New Orleans.
Agreed. Actually, that's a really good question. People keep asking, like, what's the first place you're going to
Mhm.
go when this thing is over with? New Orleans is such a good one.
What else is on
Oh,
your
I fell in love with
list?
that city.
Yeah, it's great.
I would love to go out west again, like Napa Valley.
Mhm.
I'd love to go hike in Arizona, something like
Mhm.
that. And I want to go back overseas. I want
Yeah.
to go back to Europe.
Do you have
Yes.
a favorite place in Europe?
Actually, speaking of your hot brew master, I love Germany.
Oh, wow, I've never been.
I did. Oh, it's amazing. We have very good friends that live in Munich.
Uh-huh.
Blew my mind. We were there 5 years ago. It was beautiful. Like you
Mhm.
would not guess that with Germany, but it was a really, really good time.
I started at the beginning of quarantine. I always I go through these phases where I'm really into learning other languages. And so
Ooh,
I started to try to learn German.
how is it going?
Well, it stopped. Uh it definitely stopped. They have about 7 different words for the word the. So,
Oh,
and I was trying to learn it all on Duolingo. So, I think I'm just trying to stick to Spanish now. And by now, I mean, I haven't done it in 2 months, but I will when I go back, immediately go back to Spanish. Yeah, learning German, that's a hard one. But it's also easy.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Like some of the words, like man is just man. Some of the words are very
But then
similar
you
to
tell
our
me
words.
7 words for the.
Mhm, mhm. It's very weird. It's very weird. Now, for the rest of the, what's gonna take you through the rest of this pandemic? What are some things that are getting you through?
Weirdly enough, a lot of my friends have like transformed their garages into really nice hangout spaces.
Nice.
So it gets me out of the house and I
Mhm,
can like see people. Work, I'm really lucky to be coming into work every day.
mhm.
So that feels like a really nice separation. If I had to work from home, I did that a couple times and it was pretty brutal. So
Yeah.
kudos, especially in radio, if you're
Mhm.
trying to, do some studio work from your closet, that's insane to me. And
Yeah.
I'm very like I bow down to you. And other than that, just fantasizing about what I could do once this is done. be, I'll be honest, like, I have straight up vivid dreams about things that I could do. And then I wake up feeling even worse because I know that I still feel so far away.
My dreams are less about the things I could do and more about the men that I wish I was doing. Do you know what I mean? Those are more
Yes.
where my dream, the location is moot.
So are you trying the dating thing in the
I
pandemic or?
I was doing a lot when it was warmer. I could go on dates and like sit outside, grab a drink or whatever. But now here just in New York, it feels kind of and I know I have some people I have friends that are working in restaurants and they say
Oh
that
yeah.
most of the people that are coming into the restaurants are going on first dates. So I know that people are swiping. I have made the decision that I'm not swiping until February 15th, which is the day after Valentine's Day. Because
Oh, good woman.
yeah, I'm going to wait for the cases to go down. I'm going to wait for more people to get vaccinated and maybe it'll be a little bit warmer by then. We're not really having much of a winter, knock on wood.
Right, right.
So yeah, that it and it's
I
also
like that.
one of the things that happens with the swiping is you can talk with a lot of guys for a while and then next thing you know you'll have had a conversation with them for 4 days and then nobody hears from anybody ever on either end. So, I just don't want to waste any hot matches on chit chat.
I love that. That should be on a t-shirt. I'm not here to waste matches on chit chat.
No matches on
And
chit
I like
chat.
that you're waiting till after Valentine's Day because that's
Yeah,
my most hated holiday ever.
really.
I hate Valentine's Day. I've always hated it. A lot of people call me bitter and ask me why I'm such a scorned woman. I'm like, no, this has always been a thing. It's just it's so much pressure and I think it ends up making people feel awful instead of good.
Yeah. I would
So
rather make it more of a Galentine's Day, like give cards to your
yeah.
girlfriends, little gifts like that because yeah.
Yes. It's so much pressure for
Mhm.
nothing.
Yeah,
Chit chat.
chit chat. And we're not here
No
for the
thanks.
chit chat. Well, you and I are here for the chit chat. Now, Schmitty, where can everybody listen to you, find you online, follow you on social media?
So I do 3 different shows
Mhm.
for iHeartRadio. So I'm on Star 105.7 and 104.5 SNX, which is
Perfect.
all on the iHeartRadio app. And then I also do a news talk show on Wood. So you
Ooh,
can remember that very easily because we say wake up with Wood.
wake up with wood.
And then across pretty much everything, I think Schmidt in the Mitt, SHMITTY.
Wait.
Twitter, all of it.
I tried to spell it and be cute and totally just botched it.
No, it's so funny. I have to spell it because so many people spell it with a C.
Mhm,
I got this from coworkers of mine years ago. They started calling me Smitty, and I
mhm.
have because my last name is Smith, and
Right.
I have 3 brothers. All of their friends call him that. So I was like, oh, can you guys like? I will take whatever nickname you give me if it's something else. And then they just stuck an H in it for
Mhm.
Schmitty, and it stuck. Like 14 years later, that's what everyone calls me. So
I love it.
SHMITY. But I think you are doing a fabulous job of saying it. So
Yeah, well, that's because I told you. Thank you for saying that, but I told you, like, I have this weird. I'll say the word. I think the word is smear, but I'll say like schmear or
I That's really cute though. It's
I don't-
very fancy. Like you sound bougie.
Oh my God. Well, if there's one thing I am, it's bougie. I'm just kidding. Men, sign my chest.
You ever need somebody to be okay with poor decision making like that? You text me, hit me up. I will make anything and everything seem like a good idea.
I'll be right there with you. Shmitty, I really appreciate you doing the show. I had so many laughs with you.
Rocky, you're amazing. This was so much
You're
fun. Thank you so much.
amazing. Absolutely.
is
We'll have you back, okay?
Sounds fabulous.
Bye.
It's a